You know, my brother, Leo, has this thing about him. He calls it being radically transparent, but the rest of us just call it having zero filter. He's the kind of guy who'll tell you your new haircut looks like a mop accident, and then act surprised when you don't thank him for the feedback. So, when I brought Sarah home for the big 4th of July barbecue, I was on high alert. Sarah is the one. She's whip smart, she's a pediatric nurse, and she's got this internal compass for integrity that points true north every single time. We're sitting on the deck, the ribs are smelling incredible, and the vibe is actually perfect. That should have been my first warning. Out of nowhere, Leo leans back, cracks a beer, and looks at Sarah. He says, "So, Sarah, has Justin told you about his little detour through the legal system back in college?" The world just stopped. My heart didn't just drop, it hit the basement floor. Sarah looked at me, then back at Leo. "What detour?" she asked, her voice getting that quiet, serious tone she gets when she's processing something heavy. Leo didn't even blink. "Oh, you know, the whole Grand Theft Auto phase. He spent a weekend in a holding cell. It was the talk of the town for months." Sarah stood up. She didn't scream. She didn't make a scene. She just looked at me with this disappointment that burned worse than any argument. She grabbed her keys and walked to her car. I tried to follow, but she just said, "I need to know who I'm actually dating, Justin." And clearly I don't. She didn't pick up my calls for 3 days. Here's the thing Leo forgot to mention. I was 19. My roommate had borrowed a car from a party, told me it was his cousin's, and asked me to drive us to Taco Bell. I was behind the wheel for exactly 5 minutes before the lights started flashing. The charges? They were dropped within 48 hours because the owner of the car, the roommate's actual cousin, realized I had no idea. I wasn't a thief. I was just a clueless kid who trusted the wrong person. I finally got Sarah to meet me at a coffee shop. I laid it all out. The paperwork, the dismissal, the sheer embarrassment of being that gullible. She listened, took a long sip of her latte, and finally said, "I'm not mad about what happened when you were 19, Justin. I'm mad that your brother thinks a half-truth is the same thing as the whole truth. We're still together, but Leo? Yeah, he's officially uninvited from the guest list for our engagement dinner. Some truths are better left to the people who actually know how to tell them."